Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Celina Pompeani, and welcome to another episode of From the Top, presented by Armina Stone. And we are thrilled to have this guy with us today. He does not even need an introduction. You know him, Ryan Shazier. Thank you for coming on today.
Celina, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to spend some time with you and be able to talk.
Well, we just want to have a fun conversation with you because we love everything about you, everything that you do in the Pittsburgh community, your wonderful family. You guys are really an inspiration, and I just love seeing what you guys do every day.
No, I really appreciate that. You know, we just try to stay humble and live by the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated, and just continue to trust God. Just thank you.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's the key to life.
Yeah.
Well, going back on your career, I mean, you are just amazing all around, and you're such a talent in so many ways. And what you went through, your spinal cord injury, was just a crazy situation, and it changed your life. And to look at how you went through that and turned it into such a positive with your foundation, that's what I want to talk about, the good that you're doing with the Ryan Shazier Foundation. So how did that even start?
So before I had a spinal cord injury, I didn't know much about spinal cord injuries in general, but I didn't know much about disability and handicap. So as I continued to do my rehab, I just started to spend a lot of time with people that had spinal cord injuries as well. And I started to notice that some people, they weren't getting the same rehab as me. They weren't staying in rehab as long as me. And I just started to ask questions. So I started to ask some of the therapists, why is Ray not here? Why is Mike not here? Why are some of these guys not here?
You got to know them.
Yeah, I got to know some of those people. Obviously, we weren't doing the same rehab. We was doing some different things, but I'm a very sociable person. So when we was in rehab, sometime when we're taking a break or something like that, I will talk to the person next to me or talk to somebody or, push them like, hey, keep going, Ray, or something like that. And I started to notice that people weren't there as much as me and they weren't having as much rehab as me. So I started to ask those questions, and then people started to let me know. Sometimes people just can't afford to stay in rehab that long. Sometimes they just don't have the insurance that allows that. So I started to think about ways to be able to help people so they can start to get more rehab like I did, and I thought of the Ryan Shazier Fund. And then once I started to think about it, I didn't want to just be a regular foundation, just a mom and pop foundation. I started to actually talk to some friends I had and just really think about what's the best way to start this. And then the more and more we started talking, then it actually grew into a business plan. And then now we have an executive director, and now, we officially launched last September. I'm really excited because in September it'll be a year since the foundation has started.
Oh.
And and I really plan on continuing to help a lot of people with spinal cord injuries.
It's totally amazing. What I love about it, too, there was something that I didn't even know about. You call it Ryan Time. Mm-hmm. What is Ryan Time?
So I forgot what the name was at first, but then we ended up changing it to Ryan Time. And the reason it's called Ryan Time is because I would talk to somebody. It doesn't matter if they're in Pittsburgh or in New England or California. If they dealt with a spinal cord injury and they got in contact with us, and they would say, I know that Ryan can't be able to help us right now, but my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, or even myself, I would like to talk to Ryan because I need some type of motivation. I need somebody to be able to talk to that actually understands what it's like to go through this. A lot of people don't understand what it's like to go through injuries, but especially spinal cord injuries. One of the biggest things I hate that people say is, I understand where you're coming from. And because a lot of the times people really don't. And the reason I say that is because everybody's situation is different. Somebody can have a spinal cord injury just like myself, but they weren't in the NFL like I was. Or somebody could have 3 kids and they're a single mom and then they get a spinal cord injury. Me being in the NFL, I don't relate to what you've been through. So I try to I try to be understanding of people, but I understand that their situation is completely different than mine. So I just try to provide the best insight that help me and will help my family and try to help them.
And that's such a big part, I feel like, of any recovery process. And I'm sure you had people that really motivated you, and maybe when you were going through this in the beginning stages, that talked to you and try to just keep your spirits up. I feel like that's such a big part of any situation, just keeping that positive attitude and, keep fighting. That's all you can really do.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm just a very positive person. I think anybody that encounters me thinks I'm a positive person unless you might have caught me on one day out of 300 and I'm not feeling good. But I'm a pretty positive person. So when I got injured, I was almost oblivious to how bad my injury was. I was just always positive about, hey, I'm going to get better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get that. I'm going to do this. And I just constantly felt I was going to get better. So the fact that I constantly felt I was going to get better helped me push through this.
Yeah.
And then everybody around me, they was like, hey, Ryan feel like he's going to get better. We feel like it also. So I didn't really have a whole lot of people to talk to. I read a few books about just mindset, and I did talk to some people that had spinal cord injuries, but theirs was a little different than mine, and they were in a different situation than I was. But I did kind of feel like I was lost because a lot of times people know somebody that's been through it, or even the person that's been through it, but you still feel like you're alone in this battle. And I'm trying to make people feel that they have a team behind them, that they're not alone, that they have a support group behind them.
Yeah, that's huge. That's so important. And I know she did not go through what you did as an individual, but she still was by your side and probably felt like she was going through the situation. Your wife, Michelle, I think everybody, especially in Pittsburgh, knows what a big influence she is. And I mean, she's just somebody, even when I follow her on social media, she inspires me, whether it's her workouts or, whatever she's posting. So I know how much she did for you and just being by your side every day and caring for you. I'm sure that helped the process so much.
It helped out a lot. Michelle was literally my backbone. And I know a lot of people say their wife is their backbone, but she was for me. Every day I was in the hospital, she literally laid in the bed by me every day. She was in the hospital so much that my family would tell her she needed to go take a break because she was always with me.
I bet she never wanted to leave.
Yeah, and just to know that you have somebody that supports you like that is tremendous. But my foundation, I'm also trying to help caregivers too, because for somebody in a situation like Michelle, most people will want to be there for their kid, their wife, their husband. And Michelle did that for me. But my foundation, I'm trying to be able to help people understand what seas they're navigating in and where they're going so that they can be prepared for it. Because when this happened, me, Michelle, and my family wasn't prepared. So we're trying to help people be prepared, but also let people understand, hey, I understand you're doing everything you possibly can, but you have a full-time job now. Sometimes you need a break. And we're trying to help people understand that, and we're trying to provide that for people. So that's something that's coming down later in the years. But I'm really excited about us being able to help the person that has a spinal cord injury, but also help the family.
Yeah. So you've not even been in existence for a full year, and you've done so much already with it. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a footprint and just let people know that when this happened to you and you think of Ryan Shazier, I don't want you to just think, oh, Ryan got better. I want you to be like, hey, this happened to me, Ryan got better, and this is some ways that I can get better too because Ryan's helping provide it. I'm not trying to think of it as myself, but
awesome.
but I know a lot of times nowadays when people get spinal cord injuries, I'm one of the first people that come up and one of the first names that come up to them. So I want them to also understand that, hey, there is a method to the madness, and you can get better.
Well, I know even, you've helped so many people, not even in the Pittsburgh area, but all over, just because of that, and by dedicating even just your time and talking to all of these people. What's always amazes me is because I watched that moment, that Monday night game. I followed your journey. I love your family. I really love your story and what you're doing. But wasn't it like a 20% chance that you would walk again?
Yeah, it was less than a 20% chance I'll walk in.
It's crazy.
And the crazy thing is, they didn't tell me. They told like my wife and my family. Then obviously they told me. But I feel like my whole life has kind of been defeating the odds. You know, to make it to the NFL, that's defeating the odds immediately. But also, I grew up with some, you know, spinal cord injuries and not spinal cord injuries. I had a scoliosis and I had a bald head. And a 5-year-old with bald heads, you don't see much of them walking around here. So I just always grew on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I just always felt, hey, no matter what, to get where I want to go, I have to beat these odds, and to overcome what I've overcome, I have to beat these odds. So I just felt that same way when I was dealing with the spinal cord injury.
Well, I remember, especially after all of this happened, Shaylee became like the big trending hashtag. But that was around before any of this happened, right?
Yeah, it was crazy because Shaylee was something that I created about 2 years before I got injured, and it was actually created because I was in the car with my wife and my mom and my best friend, and we were just all in the car, and I was like, man, I'm about to have a great year this year. I'm about to have and I ended up going to the Pro Bowl. I'm going to have a great year. I really feel really excited about this year. And then my friend was like, man, you got to make everybody believe. And I was like, yeah, I got to make everybody believe. And I was like, believe in Shazier. I'm like, I'm going to make them Shaylee. You know?
So that's how it started.
That's how it started. But it really means, you know, just kind of belief in yourself, but also just believe in like the purpose of what you're doing. You know, so I know a lot of times people, they say they're going to do something or they feel a certain way, but when I say Shaylee, I always feel like I have confidence and I believe in what I'm saying, and I can overcome it.
I'm sure as a dad too, that's what you want to teach your kids.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, this is what you've been through, what you've gone through, and that's what you want to instill in them, is they can do anything if they just Shaylee.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so I've been talking to my oldest son, and I was like, today we had a talk, and I was like, how do you think Daddy made it to the NFL? He was like, I don't know. And I'm like, I was like, I mean, I had to believe in myself, and I had to work hard. I had to work really, really hard. And he was like, oh, okay. And then, because he always, like when something comes really hard to him, he's like, I don't want to do it no more. Oh. And I try to tell him, you have to just constantly work hard. You have to constantly push hard, because everything's not going to come easy, you know. So it was crazy. We had a conversation about that not even 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Crazy timing.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have such a beautiful family. Your kids, are they very involved already in sports, or are they interested, do you think, in? So
my oldest son, I didn't really want to push any sports on him. He's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. Our youngest son, he wrestles all the time, and he seems like he's very active. My oldest son goes back and forth between here and Ohio, so it's kind of harder to put him in organized sports, especially over the summer, because especially football, because football is over the summer. Yeah. So he's in Pittsburgh in the summer, and he's in Columbus during the school year. So me and his mom have been thinking about sports to put him in. But the youngest one, we've been thinking about a bunch of different sports. Like we even went to a Riverhounds game this last weekend. Yeah. And they said that kids can start playing soccer at 3 years old. So we're actually thinking about possibly putting them in there, or, you know, just in some other sports as well. Oh, that would be great. Yeah. That's what my parents did, the same thing. They didn't want to push us into anything, although my dad was secretly hoping. He's a big golfer. Yeah. He really wanted us, my sister and I, to be golfers. It never happened, but it's happening now. Okay. I'm taking lessons. It's never too late, Ryan. Yeah, my mom is taking lessons right now. She's actually, she's actually really good. She's getting a lot better. It's hard. Yeah, I'm not really a big golfer. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. It's hard to be out there on 18 holes. Yeah, nah. It takes like 5 hours. Yeah, I get tired after about 8. Maybe before 8. But I have a good time. I always have a good time. But I'm not the one swinging the club. I control the music, and yes. And whenever the food cart comes, I let everybody know that it's here. So. That's the most important role out there. Yeah. Well, I know you love Pittsburgh. You've made it your home here. Your family loves it. What are some of your favorite parts about this city? One of the things that I really love about the city is just the support of the city, just in general. Like when it comes to just everything, I feel once the people in Pittsburgh believe in something, they push behind. They push behind it, and they give it momentum, and they just love it. that's one reason I love it. I feel like it's a great family city. One thing I like about Pittsburgh, that there is enough to do, but not too much to do.
Yep.
And I love that because I am the type of person, when I have way too much to do, I can get in trouble. So I just like to have just enough, and I can have a good time here. And just, another thing I love about the city is just how many different cultures and people are here.
Me
and what
too.
I mean about cultures is obviously we have just all different type of culture. We have Irish, we have Hispanics and other things like that, but we have a lot of different cultures from like England and all over
we
Europe.
do.
We have a lot of European culture here, so I think that's pretty cool. And then one thing that I love about Pittsburgh, but I also hate about it, is the weather. And the reason I say that is because from Florida, we don't really get change of seasons. If you see a tree outside, it's the same tree you see the whole year round. But here in Pittsburgh, you get the seasons. And at first, when I got out of college, I was like, I don't care about the seasons. It doesn't bother me. But now I do like to change clothes. I do like to put on a jacket sometimes. I do like to be able to be in the sun sometimes. I like the change of seasons and things like that as well.
Me too. I know. I love it and I hate it. Some days it's raining for 2 weeks. I'm like, what's going on? But I do. I love the seasons, so I feel pretty lucky to have that.
Yeah, if we can get like 100 less days of rain, I'll be fine. But
I agree. Yeah, that would be perfect. Well, Ryan, I can't thank you enough for coming out here and really just hanging out in our new showroom here in Cranberry Township. It's our brand new podcast studio.
Yeah, this place is beautiful. Just all the stone that's in here, it's almost crazy. It's almost like a wonder to see in Pittsburgh.
It is
because it's so many.
It's overwhelming.
It's so many different stones to see, and it's at a beautiful location. So I like to come up.
I agree. I love it out here. It's a booming area.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Cranberry is definitely a growing area. So.
It is. Well, before I let you go, we always like to end each episode with some singing. Do you like to sing?
I don't recall that on the last episode.
We save it for the very end.
Oh,
it's
man.
just a little surprise. But it's going to be real easy. We're going to do it together. We're just going to sing our little, ooh, Armina Stone.
I could do that. I could do that. I thought you were talking about like really singing.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, nobody wants to hear it.
And this is still going to be bad.
It's okay. You'll be better than me, I promise. I'm pretty bad. I'll count us down, Ryan. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, Armina Stone. Ryan Shazier, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.